Welcome back. So there's something that I've been wanting to do for quite a few years, and it's been driving me bonkers. Every single time we have to go around our bins to move augers, to hauling grain over at the Quonset, we call it. We have these big concrete pillars that have been in the ground ever since I've been a little kid, and they drive me bonkers because they're in the way. So we tried chiseling on it with an old jackhammer with a backhoe. We tried digging to the bottom to see if we could bury it all, and it's just such a massive pillar, we cannot get it removed. So what I'm gonna do is I drove to Great Falls 80 miles one way this morning, and I went and got myself a persuasion talker. Yeah, one of those things. Big old jackhammer that we're gonna put on the skid steer, and we're gonna chisel the snot out of the top layer to try to get it down far enough so we can just bury the rest of it. So what I need to do is I need to grease the skid steer, get a couple things around on it, make sure it's got fuel, and then once that's good to go, then I'll take it over to the Quonset and I'll start chiseling away. And then in those concrete pillars, they have massive rebar slash steel rod that's probably about an inch and a half thick in some places. And as I chisel around that, I'll have to use the torch. I'll have to bring it over there and cut those off so I can bury it. And then I'll need to bring the backhoe over and use the backhoe to help sort through some of the chunks of concrete that's in those piles of dirt. And, you know, so there's a few things I'm gonna do. Now you're probably thinking, well, where's your dad and your brother? Well, they used a sick day and decided to go on vacation for a little bit, and I couldn't go. There were a couple of things going on this week that I couldn't make it. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to stick around and get this done before harvest so we don't have to deal with it being in the way for another year. So anyways, what I do need to get is, where is it at? I need to find the, oh, there it is, it's over here. I need to grease all the pins, and I love this foot pedal grease. I don't know what you would call it. I call it foot pedal. But this unit right here, because when you need to pack in a bunch of grease, it makes it a lot easier. You can force it in pins, make sure it gets a lot in there. Because with all that chattering, you're gonna wear out pins pretty fast. So, well, faster, I should say. So if I can get more grease in them, and then I'll have to grease it a little bit throughout the day. But yeah, I think it'll be good. So let's go ahead and grease some of this. So, I went ahead and put this door back on for safety purposes. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Let's go top it off on fuel, even though it still has 3/4 of fuel. I'll still get it topped off. There we go. Let's go hook up to the jackhammer. All right, let's grab some water. I've got a couple pickups over at the Quonset, so that way I can leave the skid steer there, drive a pickup back, grab the backhoe, torch, a few other items, and then go back over there, and then I still have a vehicle to go back and forth if I needed to. You just never know if something breaks too. I might need a vehicle to run back and forth. There we go. There's my water bottle. It's gonna get a little warm today. At least that's what they're saying. Okay, let's go have some fun. we are here in the bin yard. We call it a Quonset. And this is what I'm talking about. Right here, there is a massive concrete pillar structure thing that they built. I mean, it's massive. And if you look here, right now I'm standing on a concrete slab that's joined all of these across. Look at that rebar, it's massive. And then they got 5/8 rebar in this. They even have wire. And I took the backhoe and the front end loader and I dug down on the side of these pillars right here, really far down, and I never hit the bottom of this big concrete slab. Because I was thinking each one of these were its own pillar. I was like, well, maybe I can just chisel one, break it apart, throw it in a pit, and bury it. Well, I can't do that because it's just so massive. So my goal is to chisel all of this down further as far as I can, so then that way we can just bury it, and then we can drive our semis over it, and we don't have to worry about ever dealing with this thing that is in the way every time we move trucks and augers and stuff around this vineyard. So that's the plan. So any kind of scrap, metal, rebar, chunks of concrete, rocks, going in the pit, and then burying it. But let's get that cleaned up and make this a little bit more accessible, because that's my goal. I want to make it more convenient, clean, organized for hopefully the future generation as well. So let's see if we can make this happen, and let's go have some fun. I want to go have some fun. That's what I want to do, because I need that right now. It's kind of turning into a drought year, and let's have some fun. Okay. All right, let's get busy. Yesterday I got a decent amount accomplished. There's a piece that I don't want to get stuck in my tire. Anyways, that jackhammer, it works, but not that great. I don't know what the deal is, but just a pain in the butt. It could be either this stuff is made out of diamonds and it does not want to break apart very easy. But basically I got to rake this out of the way. That there is pretty much good enough, and then I'll rake all this into that pit. I'm actually going to make the pit a little bit bigger because I'm going to have more material. And then I need to make an easier access to try to chisel on that. So my idea is to take the backhoe, rip a big chunk of this stuff that's already loose, drag it over there, see what I need to chisel off of that, dig that a little bit bigger so I can have more junk and stuff go in there, and then an access to come in here and chisel out this piece here. Now, originally I was going to take the torch and cut off the rebar, but I was able to bend. Isn't that something? Look at that thing, it's huge. Yeah, that's a good inch. And anyways, I was able to take the skid steer of the backhoe and just bend down those rebar so they're facing down, and I think we'll be okay for just leaving them in the ground. But yeah, this is this is quite a process, I'll tell you. It's a job. It's taken me a while. So Originally, I thought I could just rent it for one day. No, it's going to take 2 full days, and I don't even know if I'm going to get it done. We'll see. It's taking a while. But yeah, let's get busy. Let's get the backhoe going and see what happens. We're down to the very last tombstone. I'm gonna call it a tombstone because it sure looks like one. Yeah, there were 6 total, and that's the last one. I basically got this one chiseled down about as far as I can go. It is so hard, it doesn't want to go any further. But after I bend all the rebar down and put dirt on top, there's gonna be about anywhere from 8 to 12 inches of dirt on top of it. So we shouldn't have a problem with ever seeing this again. If we do, we'll just add more dirt on top because this will settle all the dirt that I've disturbed. So we'll have to add more probably. But let's take care of that thing. Get rid of it. Hopefully, hopefully I can get rid of it by tonight because, well, I gotta return the jackhammer tomorrow. And it's about 3 o'clock, so we'll see. All right, let's get back into this thing and chisel away. All right, let's get back at it. I took a few days, went camping with my family and a few friends, and that was a much needed just to get away and just to spend some time with family. And that was awesome. So after 2 days of jackhammering and get this done, let's get back at it. I need to scoop a lot of this rebar and rock and concrete pieces out, put it in the front end loader, and then I'm gonna put it in the dump truck and then haul it over to our dump. And then I gotta sift through this pile. There's chunks of rebar and concrete pieces all in this here, so I'll have to kind of go through it and make sure I don't get tire puncture, popper thingies, what do you want to call it. But my plan is, because the backhoe, it reaches in the back of the truck, but it's not very easy. I'll use the payloader, put all the stuff in that bucket, then use that to dump in the truck. And then I'll use the payloader to really move that dirt around and then sift through it and go figure out what kind of stuff I need to get rid of. But let's go get the backhoe, start it up, and let's do some work because I want to get this done. And then I need to bring a weed eater over here and a mower and mow around the bins and clean it all up because harvest is literally probably a week. The peas are getting there, like they're ready to almost be harvested. We'll see what they can do. But yeah, let's get this thing going. This is a sweet backhoe. All right, I think it's gonna need at least 5 loads of dirt hauled into here and pack it down a little bit, but I think that's doable. Let's go take this dump truck to the dump, get rid of all this miscellaneous junk. Get rid of it. Out of sight, out of mind. It's a good thing. Okay, good deal.
All right, guys, it's July 16th. Crops are turning. It's been hot. We've had at least a week, week and a half of 90-degree weather with the outlook of another 10 days of 90-degree Fahrenheit weather. No rain in a while. It's been at least 3 weeks. And so we are at that stage now where things are turning, which means we got to get these things turning. So this is that header we got. We're still working on it. We're going to quickly button it up, get it done. So that way we can put it to the side and use it as a backup. We straighten the header out, fix a couple things, change all the bearings out on the draper, and then we're gonna go ahead and put a hydraulic motor on the center drive, and then we'll put it away. And then the other two, which are our main headers over here, those ones get to go through again too. So we'll go through them, lightly fix the cutter bar on them. They should be mostly mechanically sound, just a couple weird things, some brackets on the hinge part and stuff we gotta work at. And then it's tearing into these guys. So we got B-spine out, we had to use them for the headers, but Clifford is still in the shop. So we'll get that out hopefully today too. And I mean, these yellow peas, you guys can't really see them, they're over here, but they're gonna be, they turn so fast. They're already yellow, about 50% of it's yellow with some green in there. So next week at probably earliest, maybe even later this weekend, but we're getting to that point. So let's get going. Let's get these machines around. Let's get ready for a harvest. Okay, it's time to get some stuff out of this building. First up, let's get the 9370 started up, back it out. It'll definitely get some use this year. Then we have the new semi. So I don't know if we'll need all three of them with this year's harvest, but there'll be some times maybe we'll get them all in the field. But we'll get the two running for sure because they've got the biggest hoppers on them and, well, they look the best too. Fall here and there that I've been slowly working on with him, but I haven't done a lot of spray videos, I know. I just haven't really recorded a whole lot of it. That's always so cool when those turn on. But no, it's been running great. We just got a little bit of fine tuning with the system, but we're getting there. And no, it's been taking care of weeds, which is nice. Clifford's officially at the site. Got the header on. Maybe not permanently, but we're gonna start going through, just kind of finalizing everything. Make sure we're good to go there. And then we gotta start poking around the combines. I gotta look at my notes too. I've got notes from last year to say, hey, you remember to fix this that I will forget. So hopefully I still have those notes. And go in there and find out what those things are. Because I know there's things. There always is. All right, B-spine. Let's get a header on you. Dad and I just checked the feeder bars in the feeder house. We rebuilt the feeder house with bearings, sprockets, feeder chain last year, but it's a good time to check the bars just in case some are bent because it's easy to change without the header on. They look good though, so. Now we got the header made into the combine. We still got to hook the hydraulics up, which is this coupler right here, and that's going to go right there. But see all the dirt and grime on it? I got to clean all that out. Do not use brake cleaner or something that'll ruin these gaskets. These O-rings in here, I'm not gaskets, O-rings, they're sensitive to that and they will rot away, so you got to be careful on it. Don't want that leaking, that's a pain to leak. And then your drive shaft here, which drives the header, that that gets all gummy and gooey, and you kind of want to get that cleaned up before you put that on so it's easy to come off the next time, because it's a bugger to get off if it's tight. You don't want to fight it. So, I got me some good old-fashioned glue can here. We're just going to spray that on there like that. Grab my trusty dusty shop rag here. Wipe it down real good. Make sure there's no grime, dirt, grunge in there. And then, let's look at our coupler here. Yeah, that wouldn't hurt. This part's okay to use a little brake cleaner because you're dealing with grease. And it doesn't matter if it leaks here. Work those grooves, splines on it, get them nice and clean. Try to clean up this collar here. There we go. Safety cover on. As I've been making my rounds around the combine, a couple things I've noticed. One, re-thresher pedal is toast. See the hole? But I've got one of those. So we'll change that out. I was gonna put that on last year and I didn't. Two, got a belt over here that's looking pretty gnarly. This one. So got that on order. We'll go pick that up tomorrow. B-spine needs a new re-thresher belt. Check the fluids. They all look crystal clear and clean. Hey, we changed all the fluids last year, or was it 2 years ago? I don't remember. It was not long ago. Having a lot of hours, a lot of easy hours. Then I got to get up here in the air screen that takes all the large particles away before it goes into the radiator and the coolers. You know, the brush on that's shot. So we have a kit, so I got to put those on both of them too. So that way it keeps our cleaner a little cleaner and the radiator cleaner. So let's go case steer a little bit. Bring some parts over here. Parts here, slowly working our way through it. There's the paddles. Yeah, those are going in. And then we need this whole tub of guards, because we're going to be putting a bunch of guards on everything too. So yeah, take that one there too. Why not? Maybe I'll do both of them if I get ambitious. It's time to pull this re-thresher apart. Put a new belt on it last year, so that's nice. I'll change that, but I do got to take it off. So take the tension off the belt. It's up here at the top, belt tensioner. Then I get the belt tensioner off. I can loosen all these set bolts out, and then you get a puller. Looks like that's been hammered out a bunch, so hopefully that key comes out okay. Pull that pulley off. Then I got to take off all these bolts, and that cover of the bottom of the refresher splits off, comes off. There's a bearing there. That might be a little tricky to get off there as well. Looks like a locking collar. And then when I get all that off, then the thresher, the paddle, whatever it is in there, heck, will be in there too. And then that's how I got to figure out how to get that off the shaft, slide it out, put the new one in. And while I got that off, I'll be able to inspect the upper one, which I'm sure that one's bad too, but I have both of them. So if that's the case, I'll take this one apart and do the same thing to that one and get them all changed. So let's get to swapping out. Grabbed everything but the 16 millimeter. What do you want to bet it's a 16 millimeter that I need? Let's find out. All right, let's see here. 17. Oh, actually, it's bigger than a 17. Okay, maybe it is an 18. Guess I didn't need that 16 after all. Oh, is it a 19? Oh, hey, you know what? We need a 19. Okay, gotta go get a 19. There we go. Do I need to take a picture of that before I take that off, or is there a diagram that tells me how to put that belt back on there? I'm gonna forget. Let's take a picture. And there, and there. All right, smart. Pictures. They're free. Take lots of them. Gotta take that out. So I don't have the right puller for this pulley. There's an adapter plate you put on here. You bolt of these, or I'm not sure exactly how they do it, but it's a big pulley. If I try to pull from the sides, you're just gonna curl it like a bell. So Legarm said he had a device made at one point. We couldn't find it, so I made a new one. So I just took a pipe and sleeved it with a larger diameter pipe and cut some slots for the bolts to go. And that'll go on here. I'll put the bolts back in. And your puller, like so, will grab those lips. I get a smaller puller, this one's a little too big. And then that way I can start pulling that pulley off. Because without a puller, you'll just destroy the pulley. You beat onto the hammer. You would not believe how fused these joints could be. This thing could be slop, and this pulley could move around fine. You slide it right on and bolt it up. And a couple years of rust and water and dust and all that good stuff getting in there, and heat and cooling and swelling and everything. And it's almost like a weld. It's on there. So we'll see how hard it is to get off, but I'm sure it's not going to be easy. So Dad picked up this beast of a hydraulic puller. I've never used it before. It looks like it'll get the job done. But I've never used it before, so let's find out how well it works. Fun part's getting it all set up here. Because I gotta get the length all figured out, and I am definitely gonna be too short there. Oh, this thing is just gonna smack my hands. I don't think those are gonna work. All right, let me try some more stuff here. Yeah, well, I robbed some arms off a broken puller that we had. All right, there we go. Got some tension on it. All right, it is not on there very well, but let's take a look at this. Oh, this could be a disaster. I bet I gotta get some heat on that thing, heat it up real hot. Baby's hot. Managed to get the collar on there. Let's try this. That's gonna make things complicated. It broke the bolt right off the piece there. Oh, I knew this was gonna be tough, but why couldn't they have a lip welded on there? I managed to get it out with vice grips, but either I need some grade 8 bolts, or I get shorter bolts that I can sink in there tighter, so that way it can hold it snug and not be loose. I don't know, I had it in there ways, but it just snapped the bolt right off. So anyways, maybe I'll consult with the boss and see what he thinks. It's still hot. There we go. Broke that. These were cheaper ones I grabbed off the milk because the original ones were too long. Oh, okay. Yeah, it sheared that right off. Oh, man. Well, the pulley moved about 3 inches and then stopped. And then the bolt sheared off again. That holds the keyway. My little bracket here, not hot. You can see it's literally bending the iron, trying to pull on that. Look at that one. See how much it stretched that? I mean, that's not thick iron, but it shows you how much force is being put on that. So we decided we're gonna just go ahead and cut the pulley apart. Slice it off, and then we can get the jaws around the back side to grab it. Continue to use that and have a good place to pull from and pull it off. And then maybe try to weld the pulley up, but it's really hard to get a pulley true once you've cut it up to not make it wobble like crazy. I threw that pulley $450 probably. So just one of those things you just gotta do. So let's cut her up. Oh, come on. How are you so on there? Some cleaning up. Yeah. Grind that shaft down real good. I'm gonna replace that bearing while we're at it.
Yeah, yep.
It's gotta come off anyways.
Yeah, that's the easy part.
And we'll see about what to do about that pulley. So I guess the first thing we'll find out how motivated we are to buy a new one. We'll look up the price and see, and if it's where we think it is, maybe we'll try to weld that back up. Yeah, you guys know us. That's how we do things. But when you farm with 5 years of drought, you do things like this. Well, while I've been working on this, filing out the inside, cleaning it up, I had to re-tap that hole. The original bolt's still in there, but I drilled it out, put a new tap in it. Leg arms is pressure walking the radiator out of B-spine. Dad jumped in here and he's pulling the refresher out. So he's taken apart. Here's our new ones. I don't think we're gonna change that one. I felt it. It feels really good. Just that's the one that's wore. So I'm gonna try and continue to work on this. It almost slides in that shaft. You clean the shaft up. If I get a little more, then I'll weld that slit shut. I think I might try to weld this pulley back together. See if I can get it true. We'll try it. If it doesn't, we buy a new one, and I waste like 2 hours of time. If it works, face is dirty again. Save like 400 bucks, and my time wasn't wasted. It's a gamble. It's life. Everything's a gamble. Good. That's what I want. Say that's about as good as we're gonna get. Let's get close up on this. So what do we got, like 1/16 of an inch? And then if you look at it this way, I'll run this in. This is how I've been doing the wobble, taking out the wobble, so I'll get to right where it touches, right. Let's weld it up. A lot of tacks, otherwise it'll warp again. Well, we gotta wait for a bearing because we don't have one to put right there. So my little hack job. Yeah, those welds are not pretty. I'm not getting close to show you guys that, but they'll hold. It'll shake a little bit. We'll see how bad it vibrates. If it's obnoxious, like I said, we'll get a pulley order. But if it runs smooth, hey, there's some money saved. So, but I have got to spend the night now after working on combines. Go spray. Got Big Brute all fired up, filled up, ready to roll. There's some nasty kochia. That's not much of it, but enough. That's come up, and I want to get it done before harvest really kicks off, because now's the time to nail that instead of doing it in the middle of harvest. So I went home, had a bite to eat, told the kids goodnight. Let's go spray. Some of you have asked, it's been a lot of years of this, what are some of these names in some of your guys' windows of your equipment? Like Tom Carlson. They're patrons. Back in the day, I had a number of people say, hey, you need to start a Patreon account. We'd love to support you guys. And all right, so I set one up, and Tom has been with us since 2019 in January. Isn't that amazing? Thank you, Tom. So his name gets put in Big Brute. He's a farm legend. It's been here a while. Every now and then I have to rip the signs down because the sun fades them out and put a new one up. How's my face? Is it dirty? Do I have a dirty stash? I do. Sorry. I know. Looks kind of weird. I forgot to wash my face at home. Let's kill some weeds.